Hi everyone, welcome back to the Talkaholics podcast. This is Iman.
And this is Razia.
And today we're going to be talking about something I feel like is pretty common conversation amongst women.
Yep.
But we're going to be talking about our female friendships, the importance of female friendships, and just having women around you. And yeah.
Very nice. Iman has actually had her like eat, pray, love moment recently, and I think this is why
so accurate.
This girl, no, you're enjoying life. You're enjoying life. And does it, remind me of the movie sometimes? Yeah. No, it's you went to Spain recently.
I did. Yes.
On an all-girlies trip, which is incredible. Tell us more about it.
It was great. I mean, like, life-changing trip. So I basically went on a retreat with so it's a company called the Sisters Getaway, and they host retreats for Muslim women around the world. And so this time we went to Granada in Spain, and it was a collaboration with the Digital Sisterhood, which I'm sure everybody knows who the Digital Sisterhood is. So part of their team came, and it was really, really great to meet them in person. And this is my first like kind of solo trip. Like, I was going somewhere, of course I was meeting people, but like I was going somewhere knowing no one, and meeting people for the first time, like when you get there, which can be nerve-wracking. I feel like a lot of people were like, whoa, so adventurous, but I feel like that's not really being adventurous, but I guess it could be.
What's this okay, but wait, how long were you there for though?
A week?
Okay.
Yeah.
And
like for the majority of it we were in the mountains, so like we were really like
the pictures.
We had to stay together, but it was amazing. It was amazing. So we were, in the mountains in Granada, and we were in this retreat center called the House of Light, and it was like, I can't even describe how beautiful it was. Like, it was, I don't know, like, okay, maybe we'll like pop some pictures up, like if you're watching this on YouTube or whatever. But it was just like this really, really nice house on the top of a mountain, and just surrounded by nature. And I've never been so high up in the mountains. Like, it was a journey getting up there, okay? Like, I flew into Malaga, and then we took a bus from Malaga to Granada, so that took about 2 hours. And then we had to like, drive up the mountains. And then even from there, the bus dropped us off to like a certain point because the bus was too big to go even further up. So we had to walk about like, 5-ish minutes up to the house. And it was just really amazing. Like, you would never think about like what is up in the mountains.
Right.
There were like little villages, like little towns.
Especially when you think of Spain, like it's not often that, I think for any country that's like known for its tourism or like a lot of people visit, you don't think about like the outskirts really ever.
Yeah,
so that's really cool.
It was so great. Like we got to visit like 3 of the different little towns, and we even got to walk between 2 of them. So like our bus took us to one town, and we had a tour guide with us, and we literally walked from one town, like trekked from one town to the next. It was amazing. And we got to like see all this. You wouldn't imagine like the vegetation that is on this mountain. Like, there were avocado trees, pomegranate trees, like orange trees, there were olive trees, and the olive trees actually are from Palestine. Like they have come from Palestine. Like, it was just amazing. It was a very like, you see all these people like living a very, very different life from what you're used to, like living in the city or whatever. And it also was just like, it made you like be present in the moment. Like, you had to really just be like, look around and see like Allah's creation, like what is around you. And it was just beautiful. And it was really, really great to experience it with the woman that I was with. I was nervous going into the trip because, again, like not knowing anybody can be nerve-wracking. You're like, oh, what if, not everybody gets along. That's completely normal. So like, what if you don't get along with people and then the trip gets ruined, or you feel like isolated? And that was a concern. But I kid you not, like the moment I met the group, it felt like I had known them for like my entire life.
That's
like
so
it felt like meeting up with like longtime friends that you haven't seen in a while. And everybody was just so sweet, so kind. Everybody had this like really, really nice energy about them. And I think it was just like, because we were all coming from that same position of coming to a retreat where we didn't really know anybody. And also everybody was like, I feel like their intention was they were coming to meet new people, and they wanted to get the most out of their trip as well. So we were all coming with similar vibes, and I think that made it really beautiful, and they're all really, really great people, and I love you guys all if you guys are listening. And
just really quickly, as when because Iman went on this trip, I like didn't join her,
yeah,
so it was really cool to see, you know, obviously like she was meeting a lot of people because I kept seeing notifications through Talkaholics, like, of a new follower. I was like every other day, and I was like, who are these people? Like, how are they finding us? We literally have been dead for so long. I basically was meeting the people you were meeting.
Yeah.
As you were like telling them about the podcast. It was
yeah,
cool.
It was so great. There's such a like just great supportive group of people. And also like the way the retreat was organized was there was a lot of downtime. So it was a lot of time for us just to connect and talk with each other. Talk about our lives, like connect on the ways that we were similar, and then also talk about the ways that we were different. I have a really I guess funny or like cool story about my roommate. So Faria, shout out to you. So basically we obviously got assigned roommates like randomly, and Faria was my roommate. She's from Orlando, and she messaged me prior, right, saying like, hey, I found out we're gonna be roommates, like let's just chat and like get to know each other. And I was like, okay, cool. And so we were great, like hit it off from the beginning. And it actually leading up to the actual retreat, I found out that my flight, so I was supposed to fly from Toronto to Amsterdam to Malaga.
Okay.
And then literally the day before, I got an email saying my flight got canceled. And I was freaking out. But then like there was an email that came immediately saying that they rebooked me on a different flight. Mm. And so they booked me on a TAP Portugal flight. So I was flying from Toronto to Lisbon to Malaga. And so I messaged Faria going like, oh, like my flight got changed to TAP, like whatever. And then she was also flying TAP. She was like, oh, like what's your flight? And I was like, oh, I'm flying from Toronto to Lisbon to Malaga. Like I'll be in Lisbon at this time. And she's like, oh my God, we're going to be on the same flight from Lisbon to Malaga.
Right.
Like that's crazy to me. Like that was never, like it wasn't planned.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting to meet in Lisbon before going to the retreat. And it was literally like meeting like a friend that I just hadn't seen in years. Mm. And we got to chat, we were chatting on like all the way up to getting onto our flight. And then even getting onto the flight, obviously we weren't sitting together. And then we were like, oh, like maybe we can see if we can sit together or whatever, like if the flight's empty. And the flight attendant overheard us and she was like, I'll let you know, like if there's empty seats and you guys can sit together.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's what happens. The flight attendant came up to us. She's like, we have a pretty empty flight. Do you guys want to sit together? We're like, okay. So, like, we literally got to sit together, flying to Malaga. And then, yeah, it was so crazy how it happened. Like, alhamdulillah, it was really great. And we kept getting comments from the other girls. Like, they thought that we were sisters. First of all, they thought we were sisters, which is so funny to me. Because I guess we kind of look the same, but, like, I wouldn't have thought that. Or they thought we already knew each other, like, coming. So they were like, oh my God, when we told them we met for the first time coming here, they were like, huh? Like, what? So it was just, anyways, great time. Like, literally, I highly recommend, if you are, like, concerned with traveling, if you really want to travel and you don't know, like, where to start, I highly recommend going with, you know, like, a women's group or something. Like, and if you're a Muslim girly, go with a Muslim women's group. Like, I've done this twice now.
We'll put some of the details in the description.
I've done this twice now. I've got earlier this year in January, I went to Panama with the Sisters Retreat, which, again, amazing. And then I went to Granada with the Sisters Getaway. Yep. And it just gives you the opportunity to meet other women who are like-minded and kind of put yourself out of the comfort zone, but still in, like, a safe environment. Mm. And, yeah, so, like, I really felt, like, the bonds of sisterhood during this trip. And I think it's so important to have those opportunities to create sisterhood with other women. And I know that, like, I don't know if this is your experience as well, but I feel like growing up in Toronto, we're very cliquey. Like, we grow up, like, with our group of people, and we don't really go outside of that. Like, we know who our people are, and we kind of stick to them. And maybe we'll meet, like, a friend of a friend, but it's never, like, long-term. You know what I mean? Like, we kind of stay within our group of people. And I think, yes, it's important to have those long-term friends, like the people who know you for a long time. But I think we should be so open to creating more friendships and to meet more people. I don't think it's a bad thing to know more people, especially if you're looking for if you feel like you don't have that in your life, that bond, like sisterhood in your life. So it's so important. Female friendship is so important. I think like this trip, like I feel like I was changed for the better, just because I got to meet, these, I think it was 15 of us or 13 of us or so, something like that. Yeah. And like, like all coming from different walks of life. We were kind of around the same age, but still scattered, like, so yeah, like I just, I don't know how to say it. I loved it.
I think for me, like first of all, completely right. Like even hearing you talk about this trip in comparison, because you've traveled a lot. Like we were joking earlier that she's been to New York 3 times this year. Like that, like shout out to her. I would never complain because I love New York.
I mean, I don't complain, but I really should stay home at this point.
But I mean, just like compared to all the other trips you've been to, the way that you talk about Spain for sure. Like I think I was like, wow, this is like you truly enjoyed it. You truly had like a unique time. And I think that's just because I think on your point on female friendships, I think it's because of 2 reasons. Yeah, the cliquiness is one thing. I don't think we value meeting new people who also just aren't like us. And I think that that's totally okay. Like, didn't grow up exactly in the same hometown, don't have the exact same culture. We might be slightly different with our interests, but we have enough in common. Like, our dedication to even following up with those friendships, like, often doesn't happen. So I think that's, like, there's that of, like, there's a weirdness around, like, wanting to be, like, wanting that out of people. I feel like you have to get lucky. Like, if you're that type of girly who, like, really likes and cherishes a lot of female friendships, regardless of, like, how many long-term ones that you have or whatever, like, the ones who are willing, like, you end up hanging out with a lot more. And I think just, like, I also don't think Toronto makes it easy to you know, doesn't. Like, I don't think it's entirely our fault. Like, is what I want to try to say. Like, just like how, like, right now, I think on TikTok there's, like, a lot of conversations about, like, walkable cities, like, a thing. But the same thing goes. It's, like, there's not a lot of places to be social. And, like, even if there are, it's, like, I'm paying for a lunch or, like, a huge admission fee for some, like, board game place. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a cost to go. And so there's not a lot of places to just hang for the sake of hanging. And do something fun. So I think it's, like, a weird, like, structural thing.
No, for sure. I think, like, life is so expensive here in the city. And that can be said for a lot of major cities around the world. And it is, like, it's so hard. Like, right now, even me and you, like, if me and Razia want to hang out, it's literally like, okay, where are we going to meet? Because, like, I'm all in the East End, you're in the West, and, like, okay, so I'm it's either, like, we 45 minutes, you come this way, or I go that way, or, like, and then it's like, oh, what weekend works for you? Oh, and then we have other things going on. So it's like, yes, I completely agree. Like, it's really, really hard to even, like, maintain friendships sometimes. And I think that is why a lot of people try to keep their circle small, because they're like, if there's more people that I have to, like, maintain friendship, it's more work. But at the end of the day, I feel like not all friendships are the same. And, like, not all people are the same. I think it's important to like, recognize that there are some friendships that may require more work, whether that's because, like, that friend just needs more from you in general, or you need more from that friend. But there are also friends that are just, like, they're not there to be, like, your closest friend, but they're still part of your network. They're still part of your sisterhood. And I think that's so important. Like, for example, I'm obviously not going to be able to see these girls every day, as much as I would love to, because we're all scattered. There's people in, like, Norway, there's people in London, there's people in, we have one in Mauritania. Like, we're scattered, and in the States and whatever. But, like, we try to keep in contact, through online methods, like Instagram, Snapchat. We also do, like, a monthly newsletter through Letterloop, and it's, like, every month we get to, like, input questions, and then we can, like, answer them and, like, keep up with what's going on in our lives, and, like, seeing how we are. You can attach pictures, and then it'll go out like a it's called the Sisterhood of the Traveling Hijab. And it's, like, goes out every month to our inbox, and so, like, it's a really, really great way of keeping in touch, especially if you have, like, long distance friends. And it's, like, low effort. Once a month you have to take, like, 10-15 minutes to write some answers. So
I will say, like, sorry, really quickly, it's just, like, I also think, like, as someone who, like, is a gamer and, like, often, like, I think that makes it a little easier because, like, you are online together really frequently. But that aside, I think that still for me even is not enough. Like, I crave, like, if there's anything I learned from COVID, not to bring that up as, like, a topic we're done with, but, like, like, in-person interactions and just, like, I don't know, like, I've been recently craving just, like, we were talking about like a long time ago. We did pottery and stuff together, and like a crocodile for those.
You guys want to see my teapot?
Yeah, showcase of like never allow her to say she's not creative or she's not an artist because that's incredible.
Wait, look
like the line work. It's
it goes on like this,
guys. Incredible.
Like, ASMR teapot. And like I don't know if you can see that, but there's like a little smiley face on the inside, a little green gradient. Like I mean, when did we do this?
Don't ask.
But I finally got it back.
No, but all to say, like, female friendships are clearly really important to Iman and I. And I think we both have been craving that, finding a space to not just, like, meet new people, but to nurture those friendships, have a reason to, like, come together. And so Talkaholics is actually very excited to announce that we are launching something called BOOKCLUB. Wow. It's a book club that'll occur monthly. We'll be as much as we can, guys, we're piloting this. It'll happen across the GTA at different cafes, and then month to month, ideally we'd love to read a specific book together. It'll be themed for that month or kind of what's up in the news or trending at the time. And we'll be setting a registration page up live. It should actually be out by now before this episode goes live, so you're seeing it after the fact, but make sure to check us out on our socials, register at links that you find there if you are interested, and make sure to follow us also to kind of keep in touch about like what we're reading, where we're going to be at. The other cool thing that we're doing too, because we want this to be really social and interactive, and this is not just about us hosting something, we really just want this to be kind of very communal and like a space for everybody to meet each other. We're going to let you guys pick the book each month. So
well, we'll give you 2 options.
Yes.
So make sure you're following us on Instagram, and leading up to, so what we're trying to do is we want to make sure that you get at least like a month or 3 weeks to 4 weeks to read a book. So leading up to the upcoming book club, we'll post a story with 2 books, and we'll do a poll, and then you guys will get to choose what book we're going to read. And then once the book has been chosen, we'll open up registration for the book club. And then you can register, and, hopefully we'll see you at a cafe somewhere in the GTA. And we're really excited because January is going to be our first one. Yeah. So January 14th, save the date, 3 p.m. We're going to meet at a cafe to be announced. And we're actually going to be picking a book. And I mean, the book will already be chosen at this point when this episode comes out.
We'll probably put more details on the screen as we're talking about.
Yes, you'll see somewhere here what book has been chosen. But we, with what's going on in the world right now with the genocide in Palestine, we think it's really important for us to have a space where we can talk about, not only we want to learn more about what's going on in Palestine and what has led up to this genocide, but also want to have a space where we can talk about how we're feeling and talk about what we can do, because I know a lot of us are feeling helpless with all the images that are coming out of Gaza, and we want to have a safe space where we can talk about what we can do as individuals, right? Who aren't there, and just learn together and talk about what's going on, and then inshallah, do something actionable.
Yeah, it'll be like a super fun event. Like, again, we're just here to find a space to meet all of you. Hopefully, if you've been following us for a while, please do register. We'd love to see and get to know you. And it'll just be like a quick conversation about a book that we choose per month, over some coffee and some nice food.
Yes.
It'll be lovely.
Fun. I'm really excited.
The both of us have been kind of like jittery about this. So excited to talk about this, plan this out. I don't know. I think we've both been kind of craving it. Finding a reason to meet
definitely.
People, so.
And I think, it'll be nice. I have been trying to find a way to read more books. I was that kid that was like banned from reading books growing up because I read too much. Like my parents were like,
so cute.
enough.
Was Matilda.
I was literally like, they literally like, you can't take out any more books at the library. Like we will not be driving you to the library. I was that child. But like as life goes on and you grow older, like you just don't have as much time. So yeah, I think this is a really great way to at least once a month, I think is pretty doable.
Yeah. And my concern for book clubs and when I've tried to join some, like, over the past few years is, like, always a book is, like, really dense or, like, it's a book I'm not interested in. And so I'm really glad we're giving the option of you being interested. And, again, from month to month, it'll be completely different. So feel free to drop in when it works for you. But, But yeah, it'll be also shorter books because like I can't as an English major, I don't know. I think like I'm tapped out a little bit with like bigger books, but we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah. So yeah, we really hope that if you're in the GTA, you definitely can come out. And we hope that this ends up being something bigger than what we even thought it would be.
Yeah.
We'll try it out for a couple months, see how it goes. But yeah, save the date, January 14th, 3 p.m. More information coming soon, but definitely register. I'm sure there'll be a link somewhere below to register.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Amazing. But thank you guys for watching. We're, again, really excited about this book club. Please follow our socials on Instagram, on Twitter. It'll be in the description on this video too, on YouTube. If you're listening to us on Spotify or SoundCloud, please, again, visit our socials, because some of the images you probably have missed if you're just listening.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything to add, Iman?
No, just make sure to follow us on Instagram. If you missed the choosing of this book for our upcoming first book club, then make sure you're following us so you can pick the next one. And
make sure you text a girly who you're friends with.
Yeah,
and tell them you love
let
them.
a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend,
and then come to the book club.
Yeah, it is first come first serve. Okay.
Yes, yeah,
and it's not gonna be a lot of people because
all 20 of you gonna be applying. We don't have space. We get like two people.
It's only us that are showing up. That's okay. It's still book club.
And it's a reason to see Iman that isn't apart. I'll take it.
Anyways, I think that's enough for today. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.